Yeah.
It's on now.
Okay.
Okay. What kind of sports do you usually do?
Now that I'm older, I think I do less active sports than I used to do as a child. When I was younger, I liked things that took a lot of motion and energy. But as I've got older, I prefer more solitary sports, like yoga. I really enjoy that. Not so much taking a class of yoga, but rather doing yoga by myself. I like to come outside and sit on the deck and do it. I also love walking, and my husband and I either walk together or I'll go by myself. And we live in this beautiful area, and there's wonderful hiking trails all over in the hills. So you'll often find us hiking the hills early in the morning when the ground's still covered in fog, and it's a beautiful place to walk.
Good. And how long did you do exercise?
We, and this is both my husband and I, he's very much into physical fitness, probably more than I, but together we try to walk at least an hour, 5 to 6 days a week, and that will often turn into 2 hours or more. We also like to take long hikes. We just recently came back from Yosemite Valley where we completed a half-a-day hike, which was just amazing to climb in the beautiful hills there and see what was left of the waterfalls for the summer.
Yeah, great. And how kind of food do you prefer?
I like all kinds of food, and I always have. I think my mother was the first person in Utah to ever cook Mexican food when I was a child. We had lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and we had a lot of Spanish neighbors that taught her how to make enchiladas and tamales and everything. And when we moved back to Utah, she was teaching everyone how to make them. And that is probably my first memory of eating ethnic foods. And I've always loved them. I'm adventurous. I like to try all kinds of food. But I especially love living here in the Salinas Valley, where we have access to fresh fruits and vegetables all year round, and we eat lots of them.
Good. Do you think you eat healthy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so, with the exception of my one weakness, which is chocolate, and I'm trying really hard to overcome that habit, not entirely. So once a week we try to have a really nice dessert, and I eat lots of it then.
Yeah. Okay, and what do you think are the worst things nowadays that make people stressed?
I think stresses today are very different depending on the age that you are. I think for young adults like you are today, it must be very stressful wondering how you're going to get through university or college, how you're going to pay for it, will there be a job market when you finish? For my generation as an American, I think we have a lot of worries about financial investments that we've made, trying to prepare for retirement years, whether it's been sufficient. There's also tremendous worries about the world that we live in today. We have noticed, we think it's becoming an increasingly unkind world that we live in. People seem to be less tolerant of one another the more exposure we have to each other, and you would think it would do exactly the opposite, that we would become more tolerant and more embracing of differences. And I don't know if it's the media that causes that with the argumentative journalism that we're exposed to all the time, or what, but I don't like it. Yeah. I really feel badly to see this unkindness existing in the world.
And what do you do to have your spiritual health?
Spiritual health has always been very important to me. I would consider myself a deeply religious person, and just being in nature to me is one of the finest expressions of spirituality that there is. And it's something that's accessible to everyone if you will just stop and be quiet and listen. I love to come outside. I told you earlier I like to come out in foggy days. I love that. But in the evenings, you'll often find us climbing up on the top of our hill and just sitting quietly and watching the stars. And I just think it's kind of a rejuvenating process that everyone can go through at the end of the day. And it is a stress remover to get back to nature, to be quiet and just be a part of it.
Yeah. And if you have only 10 minutes, which things do you keep doing?
Do I keep doing, or would I like to do if I only had 10 minutes?
Could be that you like it to do.
Okay, if I had just 10 minutes, I'd probably have to stretch it to 15. But I would probably like to hop in a tub full of hot water and just relax. That's another relaxation thing that I really like to do. I've always loved water. I'm drawn to the ocean, to waterfalls, to rivers, to lakes, whatever. And in my own home, I just love a bathtub. Not the shower, but a bathtub. And that's probably where I would go and just put on some nice music and just soak and relax.
Yeah, good. And I want to do another question. Do you believe that express your feelings to another people could help you to relieve stress, or no?
Oh, I do. Even though I've already told you I like to do a lot of solitary things by myself, those are the things that I kind of do for personal renewal. But I love to talk to people. I enjoy conversation with any age of people. And I'm glad that I'm finally at an age where I don't feel like I'm too old or too young. It's kind of nice to feel comfortable with all age groups. And I like to find out what people are thinking and how they're feeling about things. My children tell me that I'm too nosy sometimes because I'm not afraid to ask questions of people that I don't know particularly well. And yet, sometimes it seems like the world is on such a speed-up cycle that if you don't take advantage of the moment, you'll never get to ask those questions or express those feelings. And so I try to take advantage of the moment when I meet someone.
Yeah. Good. Okay, see. Thank you a lot.
You're welcome a lot.